Kusama has just made her triumphant return. In addition to that, he has some enormous bombshells. It has lately been documented that there are about 2.6 trillion Shiba Inu. It was completely unexpected. In addition, this marks the beginning of the dream rally for Shiba Inu. What exactly is going on? What is the significance of this declaration made by Kusama? Please allow me to elaborate. Welcome to Dr. Crypto, your daily serving of Shiba. This is the spot for you if you're curious about anything related to Shiba. If you want to keep informed about all the latest news forecasts and stay ahead of the crypto industry, subscribe. To get more Shib news, be sure to click the like button. Just lately, a significant development occurred. Through the dissemination of this enormous bombshell, Kusama actually rocked the whole Shiba Inu community. Out of the blue, he revealed some significant clues regarding what is going to happen to Shiba Inu later on. For all intents and purposes, it is nothing short of a game changer. The manner in which Kusama presented it makes it very evident that significant events are on the way. In addition, when I say huge, I mean anything that has the potential to completely change the course of the Shiba Inu breed's destiny, regarding both the community and the price movement that it offers. However, it is not even the most insane element of it. During the time when the community was still trying to make sense of what Kusama had just revealed, something even more significant began to take place behind the scenes. The trillions, to answer your question. Yes, there are now trillions of Shiba Inu coins in circulation today. Such a move is not something that takes place on a daily basis. You can tell that something significant is about to happen when you witness billions of dollars being tossed about like that. It is the type of action that often gives the impression that major actors are trying to find a way to get ahead of something. Could it be a significant step forward? Could it be that they are getting ready to make a very big announcement? And I am aware of what you are most likely thinking at this very moment. Would you say that this news has already begun to cause a stir in the Shiba Inu graph? In point of fact, one analyst did a wonderful job of breaking it down. Shiba Inu is still positioned in a good support zone, according to him, despite the fact that there has been increased volatility. At this point, things start to take a very intriguing turn. He went on to add that this might be a fantastic chance for you if you continue to have faith in Shiba Inu and are certain about the direction it is heading. His recommendation was to progressively purchase back from these levels, with the expectation of at least a 20% increase in value from where it is now, based only on a short-term advance. The tremendous triggers that Kusama just alluded to are not even taken into consideration in this calculation. There aren't many situations like this one that occur very often. There are massive insider indications, there are bullish fundamentals, and there are enormous token movements occurring all at the same time. All of these things are happening simultaneously. One might say that it is almost like the ideal storm that is silently gathering up before a tremendous outburst. Additionally, it is important to keep in mind that whenever Shiba Inu has experienced such situations in the past, the cost has inevitably followed closely after with explosive movements. There is a lot of excitement in the community. The developers are likely working on something behind the curtain, and even the major players are beginning to make moves. In the event that Kusama follows through with what he has hinted at, we may be looking with Shiba Inu reaching a whole new extent. Then what exactly took place? It seems that Kusama, the mysterious and brilliant chief developer of Shiba Inu, has finally returned to social media after being entirely quiet for about 2 weeks. Aside from that, he did not just return to greet me. He made a triumphant return with some significant upgrades that caused the whole Shiba Inu community to be buzzing with excitement. In a recent post that he made on X, Kusama hinted to something that is incredibly enormous, a fresh white paper that is centered on artificial intelligence. Please do not consider this to be a usual update. When we speak about a white paper, we are talking about something that has the potential to actually rethink how Shiba Inu will function in the future. And let's not even go to the conclusion of it. The implementation of the L3 system on Shiba Ethereum was announced by Cal de Area, who is another expert developer for Shiba Inu. This announcement came almost simultaneously with the previous one. As a result, You can now see significant advancements taking place simultaneously on the blockchain side and the artificial intelligence side. Additionally, Kusama provided a brief teaser on significant news that is forthcoming from Token Play I, which is one of Shibarium's collaborators and is reportedly a component of a far more extensive artificial intelligence approach that the team has been quietly developing behind the scenes for many months. You can determine how lengthy this has been in the works by looking at the number of months, which also reveals how serious they are about incorporating AI into the Shiba Inu ecosystem. In addition, even back then, he was already throwing clues about how artificial intelligence may be a complete game changer, stating that the majority of people aren't even aware of how huge it's going to grow. He even altered his bio to include the statement that he was working on what he referred to as his last white paper, which was an investigation on artificial intelligence, Shiba, and Shi. And he made it abundantly clear that the Shiba Inu crew intends to play a significant role in the new age that is about to begin. At this point, things start to take a very intriguing turn. Whenever Kusama refrains from speaking for an extended period of time, people begin to conjecture. However, this time around, the community did not even show any concern. They were aware that something was developing. They were aware that he was still present. It was a construction. This level of confidence can only be achieved when the community has a genuine belief that something of enormous magnitude is on the horizon. There is no doubt that they were correct. So let's speak about the reasons why this is such a significant deal for Shiba Inu. And this is the reason why Shiba Inu has a tendency to jump about whenever Kusama returns from one of these extended intervals. The reason for this is that when an initiative like this continues to develop in the background, building layers, extending its ecosystem, and securing new alliances, it creates pressure. When the information begins to become public, the pressure that has been building up often erupts into price action very quickly. Mainly due to the fact that you are no longer just discussing a meme currency. The ecosystem that you are discussing is one that incorporates blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, and practical applications in the real world. This is precisely what serious investors begin to pay attention to. When Kusama emerges after one of these periods of silence, it is a sign that something significant is about to be released. This is the case throughout the history of the artist. And whenever something like that occurs, the enthusiasm begins to spread. The community comes together. New buyers enter the market, and the price often follows suit. It's not simply a bunch of empty words, this is strategy. Shiba Inu is taking a long-term approach, and actions such as these are preparing the company for something that might lead to rapid development, which is something that we are now seeing. It seems that Shiba Inu are once again gaining popularity, and the stats are beginning to support this assertion. The staggering amount of 2.6 trillion Shiba Inu coins that were traded was recently disclosed by the data that was stored on the blockchain. When you go to the Shiba Inu market, it is not your typical day. It is well knowledge that whales move for a specific purpose whenever they move. This is not a group of inexperienced traders who are just attempting to make a few cents. It is clear that they are serious gamers who are moving significant quantities of tokens. In addition, if you see trillions moving in such a manner, it is often an indication that volatility is on the way. According to the data provided by Into the Block, these high-volume whale trades have a tendency to appear just before the market swings the other direction. In other words, when you see this sort of activity, it is comparable to an early warning sign that something more significant could be about to take place. In order to be fair, Shiba Inu has not yet completely recaptured its key moving averages. This is the case from a technical standpoint. As of right moment, the cost is still trading below those major trend lines, and buying power is still showing signs of further development. At this precise time, the short-term charts could still seem to be inclined in a negative direction. Nevertheless, here is where things start to become interesting. It is impossible to overlook the timing of all of this. The huge whale activity that has been seen is not occurring by chance. It occurred at precisely the moment when Kusama arrived with his enormous revelation about the forthcoming white paper on artificial intelligence and the subsequent stage of Shiba Inu's progress. While the Shiba Inu team is releasing enormous upgrades, you have whales transferring trillions of tokens. This is happening at the same time. It does not seem to be a coincidence on my part. The current situation may very well be one of those times of relative quiet before the storm. It is possible that the technical aspects are still catching up, but behind the curtains, everything is starting to come together appropriately. The builders are now constructing. There is a placement of the whales. Moreover, the community is more energized than it has ever been. Now, the most important issue is whether or not we are finally going to see the Shiba Inu surge. Could this be the preparation for the next significant step up? Genuinely, with everything that is going on, including the extension of the artificial intelligence, the launch of the L3 system, the whale movements, and Kusama's return, it is beginning to seem like the stars are lining up for something that will be quite significant. We have seen a similar accumulation of cryptocurrency in the past. There was a period of silence, followed by development, whale movements, and then boom, spectacular price action that left everyone flabbergasted. It is possible that we are on the verge of seeing one of those major breakthrough moments that individuals will be chatting about for a very long time if Shiba Inu executes on what they have been hinting. In addition, if you are still concerned about the prospects of Shiba Inu, you should keep in mind what Lucy, the Shiba Inu head marketer, mentioned in her tweet. One day, you will tell your tale of how you overcame what you went through, and it will become somebody else's survival guide to help them get through whatever it is that they are going through. And to tell you the truth, it strikes close to home, not just for life, but for Shiba Inu in general. If you have been a member of our community for a considerable amount of time, you are already aware of this. There have been times in the past when Shiba Inu has experienced both highs and lows. The market has had tremendous rallies, massive declines, and money flying about, but each and every time it has been able to make a comeback that is even stronger. At this very moment, we are seeing a great deal of growth taking on behind the scenes, including advancements in artificial intelligence, new alliances, whale actions, and Kusama himself releasing Bombshell updates. In the near term, the price may see some fluctuations. Nevertheless, when viewed in the broader context, Shiba Inu is setting the groundwork for something that is far more significant. No longer is this nothing more than hype. In a gradual manner, it is developing into a whole ecosystem. In conclusion, if you are experiencing feelings of anxiety, simply keep Lucy's words in mind. In the future, when Shiba Inu ultimately reaches those absurd levels that we all know it is capable of, you will be telling your own tale about how you managed to remain resilient in the face of such challenging circumstances. What about that tale? The subsequent generation of holders will be motivated by it, and they will wish they were there at these same times. However, what are your thoughts on this matter? Leave a comment down below. The day is over now. Remember to give it a big thumbs up. To see our most recent material, share it and subscribe to the channel.